Okay, hey guys, Monday night. Welcome to the team call. I'm so excited you guys are here. Tonight we have Diamond Ambassador Elizabeth James, and I'm so excited she's here because was it convention or leaders retreat when you did that training with Tamara?
I convention 2 years ago with Tamara, and then
Okay,
last year I spoke at convention too, but it was in the Senior Gold to Senior Ruby, I think.
okay, yeah.
But
So
Tamara 2 years ago,
this
yes.
lady knows her stuff. Okay, if the head honchos ask her to teach us at convention, then she knows her stuff. No pressure or anything, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh gosh.
Yes. So I was really excited when she agreed to hop on here, and really no pressure. We just want to just kind of hear your story with this and just maybe some tips that you have for us that we can apply. So you take it away, girl.
Okay. Well, thank y'all so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Kendall is really patient because she asked me a while back, but adjusting to having a new baby and being 40 years old has been harder than I thought. I call her my surprise caboose because we have two other kids that are almost 10 and 11, and then this one. So it has definitely changed my world a lot. And Plexus has had to have, well, honestly, I'll just say this. Having a baby the way that we did and not having the expectation has really made the whole residual income so poignant to me because my team, honestly, in the last 3 months, really in like 4 months, because I wasn't feeling that great before I had her, really took it. And it was like I could take a step back, but I was still making money and still getting that paycheck and all that work. I just had my 4-year Plexus anniversary. So it's like those time and that time and effort that I put into it. And then I had a life event and I needed to take a step back, and my team took it. And so now I feel like I'm just slowly getting back in it. But it was like so great for me to see that the whole idea of residual income really is true because I had to do it. I was forced to do it. I mean, it's been wonderful and such a blessing, but it is one of those things you go, you know what, this is really worth it for. So yeah, Kendall asked me to share just a little bit about how I got started with Plexus. And like I said, I just had my 4-year anniversary with Plexus. So in March of 2013, Suzanne Clinton, who's also Diamond, she's my direct upline, she said she'd come back from a girls retreat and she was like, okay, I have our newest weight loss thing. It's called Plexus and we've got to try it. And ironically, she had been with Jen and Celeste and all of her Oklahoma Baptist college friends. And so she came back, she's like, let's try it. I did not ask her what was in it. I didn't care. I was like, bring me some of that. I mean, she could have been giving me meth for all I cared. She was just like, it's going to make us skinny. I know it will. So I was like, great, let's do it. So I took it. I ordered it from her as a customer in March of 2013. And then in April, I was like, I loved it. I loved the products. I loved how I felt. And I thought, I want to keep taking this, but my husband is not going to like if I keep spending $100 and I don't ask him. So like so many of us did, I looked and what's the cheapest way to do it, and it was to become an ambassador. So I became an ambassador on April 17th of 2013. And little did I know that was going to be such a big change in my life. I started off going, okay, I want to pay for my products. So I knew I could do that with 3 people. And my sister was already taking it. I knew I could get my mom on board and one other friend. So, isn't that like totally what we tell all of our people? 3 people and you have your products paid for. And that's such a great way to switch a devoted customer into an ambassador to go, girl, you can pay for this. You don't have to buy your own products. You can have somebody pay for them by just getting 3 people. So that was my first goal. And then my second goal was just to have a little bit of fun money. And then when I got it kind of a bigger paycheck than I expected, my big goal, like my dream big goal, was to get new dining room furniture. And it's funny, and I still haven't done it, but I'm going to make this post pretty soon. Because Plexus just took off so much and so many people jumped on board with the products. I mean, honestly, when I first started with Plexus, the biggest thing, I just had a huge, huge customer base. I had no intention of growing a business. I didn't really know about it. I mean, my PV was really where my paycheck came from. And later, and I'm kind of a competitive person, but probably like 3 or 4 months into it, I still didn't have an ambassador. I just had a ton of customers. And I was feeling like super proud of myself. And Suzanne and I had taken our kids somewhere, and I was like, okay, how much did you get paid with Plexus? And she told me, and it was like, and I think I kind of said that because I was a little bit proud of how, I mean, she knew how I was doing because she was my upline, but I was like, I mean, girl, look how much I've been selling. And her paycheck was like 3 times what mine was. And I'm like, wait a second. I know you don't have that many customers. And she was like, it's multi-level marketing. You've got to, have these people. So anyway, that's when I was like, oh, I caught a glimpse of the business. And that was probably in like June or July, I guess, in 2013, when I thought, okay, I see how the multi-level marketing works. It's not me always having the customers. Like I said, that's me having the ambassadors under me is what allowed me to take a step back when I had a baby. And so that's what kind of got me on board. And from then on out, a lot of my, the way I did it was cold contacting people. And when I say cold contacting, not cold contacting people I didn't know, but sending messages to people that I knew that I was like, they would be great for my business. I would look through like my Facebook feed and say, oh, she gets a lot of likes. She's, everybody makes a comment when she makes a post. Rebecca Folks now, she's one of my diamonds directly under me. And she was one of the people that I messaged right away because I was like, every time she makes a post, she had like, 100 people like it, and people, because she's just funny, and, it always had a lot of lifestyle stuff. So I thought, she's one I want to sell Plexus. She never messaged me about it. As a matter of fact, I think her mom was actually taking Plexus from me. I didn't even really know her that well, other than we grew up in the same town, and I really am actually closer to her mom in age than I am to her. But I was like, she's somebody I've got to get on board. I knew she wanted to get back to Arkansas, and she was living in Pennsylvania, and by reaching out to her, she became my first diamond and my biggest, by far my strongest leg. So that kind of became part of my, the way I did my business once I caught a glimpse of, hey, if I'm building it out and I'm as wide as I can go, then I can build a really strong team and reach that diamond status. So really, I guess probably, like I said, it took me about 3 or 4 months to catch a glimpse of how to actually grow a business. And from there on out, I was I set my goals each month of ranking up and making sure that, hey, I know I need to add this many people. This is how many people I need to reach out to. Because if you start to see, hey, it takes me like 10 no's to get one yes, then I know, well, if I want to get 3 new people on my team, I probably need to talk to 30 people, this month. And that would be my goal. So I kind of would do that. And as your organization grows, you have to change a little bit the way that you do things, because you've got to divide your time between the training and between supporting your team members and things like that. But Kendall asked me to give some of my like top, I guess, 3 business tips. And so I was thinking about that, because it's hard, because I feel like, we'll do different specials and we'll run different things and try different things. So I was thinking, what would be like overall my top 3 business tips if I was going to take away from the last 4 years that I've been doing this? And I think the first one would be stay consistent with the basics, because really our business it's a simple business. It's all just about sharing what we have with other people. And we do it in a variety of ways. And I think a lot of times we make it harder than it is, as far as like, oh, okay, I've got to make this post really good, or I've got to, do the right hashtags on Instagram, and I've got to do, and it's really not hard. I mean, it's about whether you're posting something on Facebook, whether you're talking to your neighbor, whether the person you're sitting next to, at your son's baseball game, you shake up your pink drink in front of them. I mean, it's just about getting the products and the business in front of them. However you can do that. It's basic. And you got to know that there's a formula. So how many no's do you have to get until you get a yes? And once you know that, for some people, every other person they may tell about it. I mean, if you're a Celeste Gwynn, every other person that she tells about it may sign up. But if you're an Elizabeth James, like I said, I need to tell about 10 or 12 people about it before I get a yes. So figure out what that is for you, and then just work the numbers. It's totally a numbers game. And it's all about how much you're willing to share the business in a variety of ways. Obviously, you have to get kind of, you're wanting to get, do it in different ways, not just necessarily one-on-one, not social media, it's got to be a variety of ways. And so you be your best marketer, wear your Plexus shirts, like I said, one of the biggest things, I'll be honest, I get nervous to just cold talk to somebody. But I do things to get people to ask me about it, if that makes sense. So instead of me going to my friends, at lunch, y'all, we got new formulation of block this year, after convention last year. I'm not going to tell them about that because I feel that's just not my personality. But I'm going to get out my block very, conspicuously before we have lunch so that they'll be like, what is that? And then I can say, oh, y'all try it. Well, of course I brought it so I could tell them about it, and then they're going to want it. So you just have to think like, how can I get people to ask me, or how can I get people to, unless you're just willing to share. Again, a Celeste Quinn may be like, girl, you got to try this block. It's new. That's just not my personality. And if I did that, that would make me anxious. You know what I mean? You have to be whoever you are, take all those kind of things, be whoever you are, and share in the way you can. So, all right. So my number one tip was, be consistent with the basics. So sharing the products, sharing the opportunity in a variety of ways. And then I was always kind of like practical takeaways too. So my practical takeaway, and Kendall, I'll send this to you for sticking with the basics, is right now my team we're using these daily action stacks. Do y'all use those?
Okay. Oh yes, girl. Oh yes.
Perfect. Okay, so we're using these, and that helps. I really feel like that keeps you focused on going, what are the things I need to do? And all these, although there are a whole bunch of, check marks, they're all the same. It's all just telling people, building a relationship with somebody so that you can tell them about the products or the business. So you don't have to be limited to this, but that would be my practical takeaway, is use these daily action stacks and get in some threads that will encourage you. Have you done it? Have you wished a happy birthday? Have you, friended somebody new? Oh, one thing Christy Hull has been doing lately is she's been going to like her friend list. And so like maybe I'll go to Kindle and I'll see, how like it'll say people who you might want to friend, what I'm talking about, how they have on there, it'll say like, so you can click on some of those people, and she's like clicking on some of those people, and if they don't have a mutual Plexus friend, she friends them, because all of a sudden they're going to see, so they're not people that she knows, they're people that are like friends of friends, but they're people who don't have a mutual Plexus relationship. So all of a sudden they're like, oh, and people are accepting her friendship. It's not like, like a lot of Plexus people we're bombarded with all these Plexus people asking to be friends, but some of these people, they're not. They're like, oh, I'll be friends with her. And she's been able to get new ambassadors and customers that way. So, that's about expanding your market. So that's just that's one thing that she's been doing lately. I thought that was really smart. My second tip would be to be creative in your business. Again, like it's basic, but you can be creative. Everything is just about your presentation and how you share something new. We're all, I guess my practical takeaway on that was that something else that my team is doing right now. We've all done those 7-day challenges in the past, as far as like the, everybody taking Slim for 7 days. Well, Brooke Hemingway, do y'all know who she is? She's a diamond ambassador, and she's in Hawaii. She's the first diamond ambassador in Hawaii, and she's actually teaching at convention this year. And her team is like totally exploding. Anyway, she has done these new 7-day challenges, but she has just a little bit of a twist on it, and they've been super duper effective. And I can send you the link. She described how she's doing these. I
actually just watched her video, but I have not shared it with everybody yet.
Okay, yeah. So it's just, I think like we know the we know the basics. We're about to do one on one of my senior Ruby legs is going to follow her model and see how it goes. But it's just, we know the basics, but it's like just kind of being creative and being open to trying new ways of doing things and trying new things. So like the 7-day challenge, which I'm sure your team has had those. Well, let's just do it just a tiny bit different and see what we can get. Like learn from other people, because we have so many smart, creative entrepreneurial people in this company, and they're trying all these new things. So study those things. Like look on the leaderboard and see who those people are that are, getting the most new customers and signing up the most new people, and follow them on Facebook and see if they have YouTube videos and watch this and learn from them, and then put your little twist on it. And I guarantee you, it just kind of keeps you fresh. Like watching some of those videos, like this video of Brooks is probably like 10 minutes, 12 minutes long or something like that. But it was like, oh, that is a good way to do that. Like if this is really about building belief and building,
Is she the one that, I want to make sure I watched the right video, that's been like doing daily prizes and said at the end that she gives away the free memberships? Because we actually just applied that to our just online Facebook party that we do monthly, and it works.
Oh, awesome. Yes. How she said it's all just about building belief. Like it's not like it's building belief in the product, and the daily prizes and things like that. But yeah, Becky Page, who's also Diamond, said she had like a gold leg do this, and they signed up as a team, like her gold leg team. They got like 57 new customers or something from doing this 7-day challenge the way that Brooke said. So, it's kind of like, okay, we just have to learn from people and stay just creative and stay fresh. Because here's the deal. If you're doing something and you've been doing it the same way and you're getting the same results, well, then you got to switch it up. You got to go, well, I know that I have to reach out to people, but maybe the way that I'm reaching out to people is not the right. Maybe I need to change that up. Maybe I need to ask somebody to listen to my presentation and give me some feedback on how I'm doing that or whatever it is. So stay consistent in the basics, but be creative in how you do it, and be willing to try other things and push yourself just a tiny bit. I think everybody has to stay true to who they are, or else it doesn't feel authentic, and people don't want to buy something from somebody who's not authentic. But you got to be who you are, but then push yourself a little bit, whereas I'm like nervous to share something face to face. It's like, okay, but how can I get them to ask me about it? I can still be authentic. I mean, I always laugh because Rebecca Davis talks about how Christy Hull, because these are two girls on my team, Christy will post like a motivational quote and she gets like 300 likes on her motivational quote, because that's just the type of person that she is. She's just motivational and just deep and just, and then Rebecca will post a quote and she gets like 3 people like it. She goes, they know I'm being fake and it's not me. So she just doesn't do it. But she'll post something funny and people do it because they know, well, that's her. So it's just being authentic of who you are. People want to buy stuff from you and want to buy what you're selling, whether it's the products or whether it's the business or whether it's a dream, whatever that is, if they know you're being real. And people can see through it even on social media, which seems kind of funny, but you can tell, the written word, how people are doing it. And then, let's see, it's funny now that I don't sleep, I can't really remember. Focus on what excites you. I'll tell you, I am not a product guru at all. I take every single product the way that they tell me to take them. But if you ask me now, what specifically does this do? And what does that alpha lipoic acid do? I had to do I don't know. The products are not me. I love the compensation plan. I love the business part of it. Like anytime I do an opportunity meeting, that is like, that's the part I do. That's the part I know, I get excited about. So I have to partner with somebody who's a product person. You know what I mean? You don't have to be everything. Like I think if you have gotten help from the probiotic for your allergies, talk about that all the time. That's awesome. That's true. That's authentic. That's what excites you because you're feeling good. Or if, your son or daughter has gotten help with whatever. Well, I guess that's not a good example because we can't talk about that, can we? Talk about that in private to the person that you just see at the grocery store. Don't put it on social media. Whatever aspect of Plexus is fun for you, like spend a lot of time in that. Now, I mean, I'm not saying waste time, but don't try to, conjure up like false feelings of excitement. Like I love like goal setting with my people. I love, going, okay, y'all, here's your goal. You're trying to get to Ruby by October. Well, let's figure out how we can do that. Setting goals, doing all that with my team. I love doing that part. Now, I'm not fun like Rebecca Davis. So I have to partner with Rebecca because she's fun. And she'll be like, well, Elizabeth, you can't just say, well, here's your 6-month goal and this is what you have to do. She's going to go, we've got to have a prize for every month and we've got to have this. I'm like, oh, so she keeps it fun. So knowing what you can do really well and what excites you, and recognizing how you can bring along a partner to kind of complete you or whatever, if you will, you know what I mean, to fill in and complement where you may be lacking can be super helpful in the business. In presenting the business, like sometimes, like I said, I can do the business side of it, but the product side makes me nervous. So if I'm going to get up and talk to somebody about it, either I'm going to have those product cards with me as cheat sheets, or I'm going to have somebody with me to be like, oh, let's ask Candace Water about that because she's a pharmacist and she can tell us. I can't tell you about it, or I can just use well, let me get back to you. But something that excites you about the business will keep you going, because I mean, it's like anything else. If you're the worst thing that you hate to do is folding laundry, you got to get that done first, or else you'll never get it done. But focus on the things that are fun to you, and it'll take you longer in the business, and not always feeling like I think it's like I have to be somebody else. You don't. Like, if you really love talking to people and social media is not your thing, well, do a little bit of social media, but then fill your cup up with talking to people one-on-one, because that'll keep you going in the business during those hard times. But getting that power partner that can maybe help fill in some positions in the parts of the business that are necessities but aren't fun can be really helpful as well. Yeah. And then I just think like, this is maybe number 4, and you told me just to do 3, but keeping that mindset of this is a long-term business. I think that you've got to go, I'm not just doing it so I can rank up to Ruby in 3 months. Well, that's just not really, that's very, very hard to do unless you're, in a totally new area and everybody in town knows you. So go, well, gosh, if my goal is to make $300 or $500 a month, let me look at all the different ways I can do that. You can make $500 a month with just customers. And you can build those preferred customers up, and that could be residual income. But then you can also go, well, then I may not want to be having to deal with all my customers, so I'm going to add a few of these ambassadors and do that. But if you think like your return on investment of what it takes to get a $300 paycheck on Plexus every single month, like I said, as a residual income, because you've got either a preferred customer or ambassadors, that time is very, very well spent on the front end, pushing hard, getting those customers, making sure you're reaching out. Because once you get into a little rhythm, it's not an 8 to 5 grind. It's a nooks and crannies, that type of thing. But you kind of have to put that time in on the front end to get that going. But you can reach those goals. You can reach the 300 to 500 goals. And if you have bigger goals, I know Kendall can help you with all that too. But Plexus is a doable thing. It's not a fast. Like, don't try to necessarily be like, I'm going to fast track this and fast track that. If you can, great, but just keep that longer term goal of going, okay, I'm just going to add 2 new customers every month. I'm going to add 3 customers this month. I'm going to do, add this person. And you'll get there. I mean, there's so many different companies, I think, that you can be involved in as far as direct sales these days. But the fact that we have products that literally change people's lives and work so well, and products that people have to take every day, there's daily consumable products. We've got that. And then we have this comp plan that literally cannot be beat. There just is no other company like our company to be involved in. Even if you're having to go, oh, I'm looking at it 6 months, I'm going to reach my goal in 6 months, I'm going to reach my goal in 12 months. But to invest in a company that's going to be long lasting, that's going to pay you out the way that we do, and with products that people truly do need over some shorter term opportunity or some faster money. I mean, there's no other company other than Plexus that I feel like can offer what we can offer. And so you have, as I say, you've hitched your saddle to the right horse or something like that. Again, I'm not sure, but anyway, those are my 3 tips.
Awesome. Well, I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
And so sorry I didn't prepare you for this, but I didn't know what I was going to ask. But so, I mean, it's so often when you do this, especially, you know, we've got new people on here, but also those who've been doing this for a while, to get up every day and do something every day for your business. And, you know, so often people do like massive action, and we had great momentum last month. And I know we all worked really hard at the end, and we had a big party and we followed up like crazy. And then it's hard to not get burnout and to keep yourself motivated to still do something every day. And so, like, how do you encourage your team to stay motivated and to remember every day to, you know, keep going and keep doing something to reach those goals? Like, do you have a specific thing you recommend they do? Or I don't know if I explained that.
I don't know if I have something specific. I mean, I think it's always, you know, we talk about, it's always good to know why you're doing it. And it can't, you know, why are you doing your Plexus business? I think, you know, if you're going, well, it's to make that $300. Well, what's the $300 for? Like, why? Like, the $300 is so that I don't have to take an extra shift, you know, at work, so I can be home with my kids. So your why is I can be home with my kids for that on that Tuesday instead of taking that extra shift. Like, keeping that in front of you, I think, is really important. I think one thing that's been a little bit hard with compliance getting tough is we don't see the testimonials as much in our face anymore. But when you do go to opportunity meetings, or if you can find some of those testimonials online, I think that is always like a huge belief builder for me, that knowing that I'm in a company that really does change lives. And that helps remind me why I get up and I want to share it, because you don't recognize a lot of times when you're in the grind of back office stuff, or, you know, trying to help somebody get a certain incentive or something like that, you kind of forget, like, oh yeah, like this person got saved from their, you know, chronic daily migraines. And that's why I think, like, if y'all, maybe you have this on your calls and stuff, but keeping testimonials in front of you, both product testimonials and business testimonials, can be huge, because it just reminds you, like, oh yeah, we're legit. We're in this company. This is a good thing. Rather than just kind of getting caught up in your own little world of, like, well, they said they were going to ship the product and it didn't get shipped on this day and this person's upset, but you're like, okay, I get that. But once you get it, here's the opportunity. So I think knowing why you're doing it, understanding like I said, the testimonial side, and again, like, doing things that are really fun for you and motivate you. If that's like spending time with your team, if that's, you know, if you love training your team, well, good. Well, you know, talk to Kendall. Hey, I love training on time management, and I would love to do this. Or, you know, I mean, there's different things. I think that
if y'all want to do that, I'd be more than happy for you too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, or if it's just, you know, I love telling people about this, or maybe you're a product person, you just go, oh, I could do a training each week on this. Things that just kind of make you excited, and kind of, if it's just talking to new people, well, then go out there and go, you know what, I'm going to go talk to some people. So, because there are aspects of this job that are out of Plexus that are a little bit hard, like a little bit draining. Like, maybe you're not a numbers person. Some people love crunching numbers. Like a Nikki Hinkle, she's going to want to crunch numbers. That would, I mean, you know, but she loves it. And so she does that for people and loves it, and it's fun for her, and that keeps her energized. So I just think finding that little thing that kind of gets you excited. But really, I think it's knowing your why, and reaching goals is so motivating. So setting those goals and being able to reach those goals and then celebrate them definitely can help you. I mean, it's easy to say here at the end of the month when we've seen lots of like promotions, and if you fall short of them, all you do is just readjust the time frame of that goal, and you can still achieve the goal. It's not you know, oh gosh, I failed. No, you just didn't make it this month. Well, you can still get those. Now, it's a new month. Today's May 1st. I love like anything new, like January 1st, any new month, like you have the time to go, okay, everything's clean. I can start that. I only did my daily action stack 2 days last month. Okay, I'm going to do it 20 days this week or this month, you know? And so, just reevaluating and get somebody an accountability partner too. That helps a ton. Somebody that's kind of trekking along at your same pace, I think really is helpful, because there are downtimes and you can encourage that person, to come along when they're struggling, because maybe they got somebody that decided, no, this isn't for me. Then you can pick them up and then celebrate their victories too. When they finally got that person that they were dying to join their team, you celebrate with them. I think that's helpful. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, and I think the testimonies, I share those all the time on my team page, because the testimonies, product and business, were what inspired me in the beginning to do this, to start sharing. And it's the products and the business that keep me going, because I would be in the hospital without the products and my family would be homeless without the business. So, it's like it starts you in this, and it needs to be what continues to fuel you in this. So no, girl, I love it. Thank you so much for getting on here tonight. And I hope you get a little bit of a rest before that. I want you to
I go to bed this is about my bedtime. I'm like, well, it's 9. We lost electricity because of the storms and stuff. And I was like, that's okay. I go to bed when it gets dark anyway. It's no big deal.
So. I'm going to stop the recording really quick. Hang on just a second.